Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode. And yes, I want to thank this guy for helping me make my videos. By the way, guys, give him props. You know, be thankful that he's actually made these, because I certainly wouldn't have found this if he didn't make them. Anyway, you guys, give this guy some props. Subscribe to him, help him out. You know, do whatever you need to do to help us. Me and him, I'm figuring about if I can get a hold of him to team up with him. If he has a PS3 or something, we could do videos together. Anyway, so, I'm gonna let this play, alright? Now this one is okay.
The WWE have okayed the following ideas. Fighting for the custody of a human child in a ladder match. Lita getting kayfabe pregnant and kayfabe miscarrying, and Eugene. That all actually happened. So to think that there were any ideas that the WWE looked at and thought, nah, it's almost unbelievable in itself. However, there were some plans that were inches away from being signed off, but fate, ego, or common sense intervened at the last moment. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 shocking WWE plans that almost happened. Number 10, the Gobbledytaker. So the Gobbledygooker was a big turkey who hatched from a giant egg at Survivor Series. I hate wrestling sometimes. He was played by Hector Guerrero, the brother of Eddie, who deserved better, but then again, Piers Morgan would deserve better. As well as seeing the debut of this steaming hot mess, Survivor Series 1990 also saw the debut of The Undertaker. Guess where I'm going here? Yep, the ideas for Mark Calloway's character was either going to be an Undertaker, a Viking, or being the guy inside the goddamn Gobbledygooker. Hey, maybe it would have worked, and maybe Brock Lesnar would have beaten the Gobbledygooker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania 30, and maybe I just made myself sad. Number 9, Booker loses at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 19, Booker T lost to Triple H. The video package for the match, however, detailed Booker's past, the death of his mother, and an emotional road to redemption after a time spent in prison, with Triple H and Ric Flair telling him, no, you're just a born thug, and someone like you will never be champion, which had just a playful hint of racism about it. The package laid it on real thick, and then Booker T just lost. If that seems weird to you, then that's because, guess what? He was supposed to win and become one of the top stars in the company. Someone with the ears of creative, however, put a stop to it, and his name rhymes with Bunter Burst Belmsley. Booker T could have been the first black world champion since The Rock, and a hero to black people throughout the globe at the time, but turns out no. Number 8, Hogan versus HBK. Hulk Hogan is about as difficult to do business with as someone who doesn't speak your language, doesn't want to do business with you, and is dead. Him and Shawn Michaels had a weird match at SummerSlam 2005, during which HBK oversold Hulk's offense so much that he looked like he was an octopus in a washing machine. Why? Well, because the two men were originally supposed to have a series of matches, maybe 3, but at least more than 1. The point is that Michaels was going to win at some point, ultimately going over Hogan in a steel cage match. However, shortly before SummerSlam, Hogan cited back problems and announced that he wouldn't be jobbing for Michaels, so HBK decided to ruin the whole match. Number 7, Muhammad Hassan. We've covered Muhammad Hassan a lot because, well, you know, but what we haven't revealed is what the WWE originally had planned for him. He was originally supposed to beat The Undertaker at the Great American Bash 2005 and win the World Heavyweight title from Batista at SummerSlam, breaking Randy Orton's record for the youngest ever champion at just 23. However, for reasons that we've gone through elsewhere, Hassan was dispatched from the WWE without fanfare and never spoken of again. Number 6, the main event of WrestleMania 15. WrestleMania 15 was the first time The Rock met Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. It was a classic match, but it almost wasn't to be. Originally, because of The Rock's recent program with Mankind, it was planned to be a triple threat match between The Rock, Austin, and Mrs. Foley's baby boy. In fact, Shawn Michaels, who was on-screen commissioner at the time and still backstage politicking like a mother, campaigned for Austin not to even be in the match at all. The industry's 2 biggest stars at the time not meeting at WrestleMania seemed unthinkable, but that was the plan for a while, and I don't want to live in that world. Number 5, Kane's replacement. Remember the imposter Kane? Well, normally, no, you shouldn't, because it was dreadful, but we put it in one of our videos about Kane. If you haven't seen that, then I'm going to cut you. They can the angle when people realize, wait, this is rubbish, but the original purpose of the angle, well, it turns out Glenn Jacobs was contemplating retirement, and the WWE wanted to reboot the character. They were set to reveal that the imposter Kane was in fact the real Kane all along, that the real Kane, I mean the fake Kane, in prison. Yeah, it didn't work out, and Jacobs held off his retirement. Number 4, China WWE Champion. Vince Russo was a creative madman like Willy Wonka, but that wasn't chocolate in the factory. Pooh joke. He had some great ideas, but he was also responsible for some of the most juvenile and needlessly complicated things that ever happened in a wrestling ring. Watch WCW during 2000, it's not a pretty sight. Well, one of the most interesting ideas that Russo had was that at SummerSlam 1999, China would become the first ever female WWE champion. She even got as far as winning a #1 contenders match before the plan was scrapped in favor of the triple threat. So for Vince Russo, even a stupid clock is progressive twice a day, or something. Imagine if WWE had not just gone ahead with China versus Austin, imagine if she'd won, which she was originally booked to do. It might have been brilliant. However, knowing Russo, it probably wouldn't have. But just think of the headlines. Number 3, breaking the streak. Lots of people thought it would never be done, but WWE actually planned on ending the streak a number of different times. Randy Orton was originally supposed to kill the legendary streak as part of his Legend Killer gimmick, but Orton refused to do it out of respect to Taker. Likewise, Kurt Angle was approached with the idea, as was Mark Henry. 3 other men were penciled in to break the streak. Sting was approached by the WWE but refused to join the company, and plans were also made for Wade Barrett to pin Taker if his Nexus heat continued to build, and we all know what happened to that. In the end, Brock Lesnar was the man who was chosen, and he accepted. Number 2, the future of WCW. When the WWE bought WCW for a fraction of what it was once worth, the invasion angle was not even their first plan. They originally wanted to keep WCW as its own show with its own time slot. They even gave it a brief go on July the 2nd, 2001, dedicating the last 20 minutes of Raw to WCW. New announcers came out, they changed the ring, and had Booker T fight Buff Bagwell for the WCW title. It was rubbish. The fans turned on the match and Vince McMahon hated it. WCW as its own surviving brand was scrapped immediately, Bagwell was released, and the invasion went full steam ahead. Now, if only someone would rebook that. Number 1, the death of Mr. McMahon. In 2007, Vince McMahon got into a limousine, and the limousine went kabooms. The plan was Vince McMahon was kayfabe dead, which is weird. No one would believe that because it's wrestling. But anyway, Vince McMahon would be dead, and the main plot all the way through to the next WrestleMania would have been whodunit. I know a couple of million suspects. Who was going to end up being, drumroll please, Linda McMahon. Yep. Put her into a medically induced coma, will you? And that's what happened. The company would be left in the hands of Mr. Kennedy, his illegitimate son, which is cold considering he already has 2 legitimate children. Then Triple H would emerge as a babyface, having remarried Stephanie McMahon, consensually this time, and challenge Mr. Kennedy's rule. Again, poor Shane. This would culminate in a match at WrestleMania, which Triple H would win, then Vince McMahon would emerge, and the whole thing would have been a ruse to give the company to his, quotes, true son. Again, Shane, I'm so sorry. Of course, the Chris Benoit tragedy happened shortly afterwards, and in light of an actual death, Vince came back from the other side to address the situation. How long would Vince have maintained kayfabe for? Would he have gone into hiding? Do I care? It sounds dumb. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can even follow me on Twitter. Here, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, you guys, so that's the video. Now, I'm just surprised about some of it. Like, never mind. It's just amazing what WWE does sometimes. Anyway, you guys, I will see you in the next episode. Peace!